Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to our channel, ARMY. Before we start, if you are new here, please like this video, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single video from us. And if you have a favorite Jimin or Jungkook moment that we didn't mention today, drop it in the comments below. We genuinely love reading every single one of your stories. Purple Heart. Okay, now let's get into it. What if I told you there are moments between Jimin and Jungkook that not even time can erase? Moments so raw, so real, that millions of people around the world stopped what they were doing, grabbed their phones, and just cried. Today, we are going through the most unforgettable, heart-shattering, internet-breaking moments between these two. From concert stages drenched in tears, to military barracks where they found comfort in each other's voices, to a morning in June 2025 that made ARMY across 6 continents weep with joy. Stay with us until the very end, because moment number 1 is something that happened just last year, and it will absolutely destroy you in the best possible way. Let's go. Let's go back to October 2018. London's O2 Arena. BTS is in the middle of their massive Love Yourself World Tour. And then, right before showtime, disaster strikes. Jungkook injures his heel backstage while stretching. The medical team's verdict? He cannot dance. For a performer like Jungkook, someone who has dedicated his entire life to the stage, being told he cannot dance at a sold-out concert is not just physically painful. It is emotionally devastating. He still took the stage. He sat in a chair while his 6 brothers performed around him. And for most of the show, he held it together. But then came on Ponman. Jungkook turned his chair away from the audience, and broke down in tears. Here is where everything changed. Jimin, who was stationed all the way at the far end of the extended stage, saw it. And he didn't hesitate for a single second. He left his position. He abandoned the choreography. He ran, all the way across that stage just to get to Jungkook, give him a supportive smile, and dance by his side. The crowd lost it. But it wasn't over. During the goodbye speech, Jimin turned to the audience and said, "I know you're all worried about Jungkook. But if he goes home like this tonight, he's just going to cry. So when I say 1, 2, 3, say, I love you, Jungkook." 60,000 people screamed it at the same time. Jungkook cried harder. But this time, he was smiling through those tears. That night, Jungkook trended worldwide on Twitter. And every ARMY watching from home? They were crying too. Now, you know what they say. What goes around, comes around. But in the case of Jimin and Jungkook, it went around in the most beautiful way possible. Fast forward to May 2019. BTS is performing at the Rose Bowl Stadium in Los Angeles, one of the biggest venues in the United States, holding around 60,000 people. And this concert wasn't just a concert. It was history. BTS had just become the first K-pop group to ever headline a stadium world tour. Their album Map of the Soul, Persona had debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200. They had performed on Saturday Night Live, the first K-pop act ever to do so. The weight of everything they had worked for, every rejection, every doubt, every 4 a.m. practice session, it all hit Jimin at once as he stood on that stage. He crouched down. And he cried. Hard. And who came running? Jungkook. Of course it was Jungkook. The Magne wrapped his arms around Jimin and held him tight. He went back and forth between comforting Jimin and shouting, "I love you," at the audience. One voice off camera, sounding very much like V, could be heard shouting, "We love you, Jimin." This was the moment ARMY all around the world recognized, these two are not just bandmates. They are each other's shelter. In 2018, Jimin ran to Jungkook. In 2019, Jungkook ran to Jimin. And somehow that symmetry, that beautiful, unplanned symmetry, felt like it was written in the stars. October 2019. Seoul, South Korea. The very last night of the Love Yourself, Speak Yourself World Tour. Home. They were finally home. The entire tour had been monumental, stadiums across the globe, records shattered, history made at every stop. And now it was ending, right where it all began, in front of Korean ARMY, on Korean soil. As the final song played and the lights started to dim, Jungkook, stoic, strong, golden magne Jungkook, burst into tears on stage. And Jimin reached over, and quietly wiped them away. No big dramatic gesture. No speech. Just a gentle hand, a quiet moment between two people who have known each other since they were teenagers, who have shared every high and low of this extraordinary journey. That single gesture spread across social media instantly. Millions of reposts. Millions of screenshots. Millions of people feeling something they couldn't quite put into words. Because sometimes the most powerful moments are not the loud ones. Sometimes it's just a hand reaching out in the dark, saying, I see you. I'm here. Now, I need you to picture this. And stay with me, because this next part is going to make you laugh and then completely break your heart at the same time. It is December 2023. Jimin and Jungkook, two of the most famous people on the planet, have just enlisted together for South Korea's mandatory military service. No more massive stages. No more sold-out stadiums. No more screaming fans. Just barracks. Uniforms. 5 a.m. wake-up calls. But here's what happened that nobody expected. On December 18, 2024, Jungkook went live on Weverse during his military leave. And in the middle of the broadcast, he casually dropped something that broke the entire internet. He revealed that he and Jimin, almost every single day, were singing together in the common barracks shower. They would sneak a little away from the other soldiers, hum songs, talk about music, and sing out loud. One song in particular, Goodbye by Park Hyo-sin. Almost every day. Together. The fandom lost their minds. So the ARMY barracks are getting free jikook concerts before me? That one tweet went viral within minutes. Imagining them sneaking away to a corner on base to sing together is making me tear up. I can't imagine how much strength they give each other. I'm so glad they're not alone. But underneath all the jokes and the chaos, there was something genuinely moving about it. In a place stripped of everything familiar, no fans, no cameras, no music shows, what did Jimin and Jungkook do? They turned to each other. They kept the music alive. Together. That is who they are. And now we arrive at the moment you have been waiting for. June 11, 2025. Yongkyeon, Gyeonggi Province, South Korea. 8 in the morning. Despite the early hour, thousands of ARMY had been there since the break of dawn. They came from Portugal, Brazil, China, across all of Asia, Europe, and South America. Street lamps for 10 kilometers had been decorated with banners reading, A Purple Return, Time to Fly Again. Over 100 media outlets from around the world were present. More than 30 police officers had been deployed just to manage the crowd. Jimin and Jungkook, who had enlisted together on December 12, 2023, and served together in the 5th Infantry Division Artillery Brigade, were about to walk out as free men. And when they appeared, smiling and waving, the world broke. Jungkook looked at the crowd and said, "Army who came today, I report my discharge." He laughed, admitted he hadn't even put on makeup, and said it had been so long since he'd stood in front of cameras. He thanked every soldier and officer who had served alongside them with the deepest sincerity. Jimin stood before the cameras and said something that hit even harder. From COVID-19 to the military, it has been quite a long journey. Thank you so much for waiting. Now that I have been discharged, we will get back to painting the picture we have been envisioning. Later that night, Jungkook posted on Instagram a photo of the two of them in uniform, side by side, smiling. The caption was only 3 words. "We are back." The post shattered platforms. ARMY from every corner of the world flooded the comments with purple hearts. The hashtag trended worldwide within hours. Fans who had been waiting nearly 2 years broke down crying in their living rooms, their offices, their school hallways. Anaísa Silva, a 30-year-old fan who had traveled all the way from Portugal an entire month early just to be there, said through tears, "I'm just so grateful he's back. BTS is such a source of joy and comfort for us." A 20-year-old Chinese student standing outside in the cold said, "I miss Jungkook so much." And then he couldn't say anything else. And then came June 13th and 14th, the 2025 BTS Festa at Kintex in Goyang, the first in-person reunion event as BTS marched toward their full comeback, with only Suga's discharge on June 21st remaining before all 7 members were finally, completely, unbelievably, together again. This was not just a moment for ARMY. This was a moment for anyone who has ever waited for someone they love to come home. 5 moments. 5 times Jimin and Jungkook proved that their bond is something beyond what words can fully capture. From a concert stage in London where Jimin ran across to comfort a crying Jungkook, to a stadium in Los Angeles where Jungkook held Jimin while he wept tears of joy, to a farewell stage in Seoul where a single gentle gesture said everything, to military barracks where they kept singing to each other just to survive the distance from everything they loved, to a June morning in 2025, standing in uniform, smiling at a world that had been waiting for them. Every single one of these moments is proof of something rare and real, a friendship that has survived fame, pressure, distance, and time, and come out the other side even stronger. And ARMY? You are part of every single one of these moments too. Because without you, none of it would have meant what it does. Annyeong.